of my questions I had was just what was your inspiration for some of the characters? Like, did you draw from your children? How did you get some of the inspiration for your characters?
Well, for the design of it, we had a designer that, is a big, we have so many creative minds working together, so usually the idea is not coming from one source. We have so many sources for them. For all the characters, like we use Peter de Sève as our main designer, and he's like, he writes a lot of storybooks, and he has a lot of great inspiration from sculpture artists and stuff like that. So he designed those characters, and we wanted to be fun and quirky. So we worked with him, just seeing things that we liked, the things that we wanted to do, and with them. So it's kind of like was a collaborative effort to get it going. But when we start animating it, you have to put a lot of your mannerisms, a lot of your fun elements to the character. So when I usually look a lot of reference, and for example, when we did the Scrat, we look a lot of squirrels in the park, and just to get the twitchiness and in our crazy minds too. Like, we have a bunch of animators. Like, we have a big, large group of animators that bring so much life into the character that the combination of all these creative pods makes the character work. It's not one idea, it's like many ideas working together. As long as everybody has the same energy and the same goal, that's how the characters come to life.
This might sound silly, and maybe it was asked before, but how do you direct a voice, since there's not a
it's a good one. It's interesting because I always get guys. So what is it directing an animated movie? Because live action. You go to a set, you have everything there. You have the cameras. The guy put makeup. They have costumes, and then you shoot the movie, and you say action, and everything happens there. And then what you see there is what goes into the movies. We are like a production process. So first thing we do, we record the voices. So we go to a studio that is not fancy at all. It's just a booth with a microphone, the script pages. And the actor comes in, and I talk to the actor about what's the movie about, the character, and then we read the script together to go through the lines, and he has to act. It's very tough for them because they have to act without the environment around. They don't know what's going to be. For example, in Ice Age, they didn't have Ice Age around them. They didn't have the ice or the snow, and I have to tell them, you're very cold here, So they have to create the acting through their imagination and through the images that I show. So it's a very interesting process because we talk too much. It's almost like closing your eyes and imagining yourself in that world and trying to act the character, what it would be without being there. So it's very fun because it's very kind of you can extract yourself from that kind of the reality and just have a good time in that little booth. And so that's the first step. And then we get the voices. And then I select the best takes of the voices, the same way the director will select sequences from their the shooting outside, and those takes are put against the storyboards, and then those takes will be taken to animators. That then I would have to direct the animators to see, now how do I want the movement of the physical acting of the character to match the voice. So that would be the second section of the direction, would be to the animators that will be the actors of the characters, and they will do the movements, because our actors don't look like Sid or Manny or Diego. So we have to be creative in terms of finding how the voice of John Leguizamo will become Sid the Sloth in the movie. And it's two separate process, but very connected process. It's like the animator, the actor gives the voice and the feeling of the character, and the animators will add the physical emotion to the character that we just recorded. So it's those two things combined is the directing job.
We have time for one more question.
I guess just there's a playground in the movie that's new to the movie, right?
Yeah.
So I guess one of my questions was, was there a reason why you decided to add a playground? Do you think that's something there's not enough play spaces for kids, or maybe I just want to know a little bit about why it's a new part of the movie?
That idea for the playground was we were thinking about at first a nursery, an area that Ellie would take her kids to play. And part of the story was the fact that Manny was concerned that the world would not be a safe place for the baby to be born because of the natural dangers and stuff, the ice age, the ice and all that stuff. So we thought about constructing that playground that would be a secured playground for the overprotected father that Manny was for the kids. But part of the story is just like, you know, yes, you can isolate your kid in the playground, but if there's not other kids playing with you, if there's not other elements, if you don't put your kids to the real life, you know, what's the fun of a playground if you don't have other kids in it? And that's what Sid brings in, bringing the kids and all this stuff to the playground. So it was more like, you know, it's a very iconic way of like a place that you usually take your kids, that you can interact with other kids if you live in a city, or if you live in a place that you don't have a lot of open spaces. And so that was the idea behind it.